Hello, everyone. Welcome to the sixth episode of the Goontionary podcast. I'll be your host, Caustic, and I'm joined by my fellow and only co-host for tonight, Kadachi.
What up?
And for this episode, we have two guests with us tonight, Bran-Flakes
Hello.
and Blitz.
Good evening.
Okay, the topic we are going to be talking about tonight is philosophy. So prepare to be questioning your very way of life and existence for 2 hours.
All right, that's a pretty heavy intro. Listen, I've met philosophers, Caustic. I, once in uni, had to take a philosophy class. All right.
Oh dear.
And do you know, that
Ooh.
means I had a person with a doctorate of philosophy, a top tier
shit.
philosopher of our current day. And do you know what that man was like, Caustic?
What was it like?
He was weird as shit. Like, we would try to go to his office hours to ask him questions about assignments. And he'd be like, oh, no. I can't talk to you guys right now. I'm really trying to work out this argument right now. And then he would just pace up and down a hallway reading papers. I know what you're thinking. Oh, he was a college professor. Maybe he was like grading papers. No, he was not.
Huh.
He was reading philosophical arguments and just thinking about them.
Oh, interesting.
So, Cossack, is that going to be us tonight? Are we just thinking about philosophy right now?
We very much could be while we're drinking and getting very fucked up. So we might be thinking of a lot of things.
I can't wait for the existentialism.
Exist-
Oh, dude.
Existential
That's me every day.
crisis mid podcast.
Well, you know
Uh,
how alcohol goes.
Yeah, I've supplied us with a lot of questions that we could be asking that relate to philosophy and other like versions of philosophy. But let's start us off with something, I don't know.
Come on, Cossack,
Okay.
just go ahead and ask it.
Right. All right, let's try this
Ask.
one. Gonna hit you straight to the point. Is there a meaning to life? If so, what is
How
it?
is that a starting point?
Oh, Jesus
Hello?
Christ.
Also, no, there's not a meaning to life.
Yeah,
No?
life is pretty pointless.
It's kind of like a thing that just sort of happened, you know? It's not like I don't like the idea that like people need to live up to some expectation that they're here for some specific purpose that they need to fulfill, and more about the more like what's the correct word, like biological stance of just like you're just kind of here
Oh,
because your
Yeah.
parents had a kid. That's just how things work.
to take you up on the biological part of it, I would say like the only point of life is just to live and reproduce to survive. But apart from that, there's nothing else. Just no deeper
Yeah.
meaning. Just live, have sex.
Live and experience.
Yeah.
Live and experience.
Yeah. Yeah,
And it's
I
up to
agree.
you to actually like how you want to live it. But I know like this is very controversial when it comes to like maybe if you want to live it like very dangerously or like carelessly, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like everyone has that mindset when they're growing up. Oh, I gotta have a job, own family, like the usual shit. But it's not always like that when it comes to like living. I feel like you anyone can live their own life in their own way as long as they're happy. But like
Yeah.
it really depends on what makes you happy, really. Because someone could be just in like bottom of the barrel, like trying to survive kind of like thing, but you know they don't experience what other people experience. For example, is some person might have like people doing their own stuff for them, maybe like laundry, all that kind of stuff, rich people stuff, like
Yeah.
someone trying to live. They could be happy just like I don't know, it could be anything, but that's how I look at it, at least.
It's like some individuals will like not really say like put like a barrier in front of them to like how far they're gonna go to fulfill their happiness in life. Like some people like live the simple life where like you know they'll do their everyday routine to you know basically survive and get through life, and that will be that's it. Like they don't need anything else. But like they, you know, there's other people where they will like do everything that they can, like you know, have like a you know like how people have like a bucket list and stuff like that, or things that they just want to do, and they try to fulfill everything to get the well
The list going. All
to,
the list ticked off.
like just have constantly doing things to make themselves happy instead of just like you know just sitting around and just living you know day by day.
I'm a mix of both. I have a bucket list, but like I also just like live it like trying to
Yeah,
survive. Fuck it,
yeah,
and
yeah.
just
That's
stay
Do you
with
actually have
friends.
a written down one?
No,
Like an
actually,
actual. Oh really?
no, I don't. Anyone
yeah.
It's
else
like
have like a
that's what I
written
think
one?
too.
I
Like
don't. I
I
don't
have
have
a list I
mine.
want to, but I don't write it down. Also, I've
Yeah,
written it down.
yeah. I don't have one written down, but like I've got like, um, I'd say like a goal now. Then like I didn't have a goal before, but now that like I guess now that I'm doing stuff, it's like I sort of know exactly where I want to go now. A lot like later down the line with the time I have on this rock.
Yeah.
But yeah, like yeah, but there are just some people where like, you know, they'll do like the simple things. They'll get a job, have a family, have a have an offspring, then just hope that their kid fulfills
So
what
caustic.
like they you know taught them, and then it's just a cycle repeated
You see,
type of
that just
thing.
seems terrible to me because it involves having children, and that just does not
Yeah,
sound like a
no,
good route.
I don't want a child at all.
Also, you could argue, is it immoral to bring a new child into a world where it's increasingly becoming more and more dangerous, the future uncertain, and the risk of, famine, disease is increasing?
Yeah,
Is it moral to do that?
because
Well,
we don't
I don't know. I don't
where
even
it's
think it
gonna
needs to
go.
get that heavy. I think it's just like, what is it?
Children's
It's like
bad.
everybody's saying that like millennials are having less and less kids and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then it just gets down to it's like because I think millennials are a lot more practical. Like we've been hit like pretty heavily more than other like generational groups by like economic inconvenience. And so it's
Yeah.
like for us, the idea of even being able to with a kid, live on our own, even in a lot of cases, is just so far out of reach that it's like, hell no, I'm
Oh,
not gonna have a
yeah.
kid. Like,
Yeah, I definitely agree
There's
because it's
also
like
like, oh, sorry, go
let's say,
ahead.
oh, yeah, it's like with like you know like we all the stuff that you know people do now like there's like so much compared to what uh it was like you know 50 maybe even like 100 years ago even like because they
Population
would
was only
just
like 2 billion, like 100 years ago. It was not a
yeah
lot.
that's the thing yeah that's the thing as well like the population was so much smaller back then and then like in the span of you know all the years and like even you know a century or two we've almost tripled that like even like quadrupled at this point. Like if they had 2 billion back then we're up to like are we reaching 8 billion now or are we
yeah,
still in
we
the
are
7
getting close
billion?
to 8 billion.
God, that's
Mm.
insane. That's the
Where's that
that's
Thanos snap when you need it? Jeez.
Exactly. Yeah, that's actually why I like Thanos as a villain. Like, you can see it
We're
where he's coming from.
7.8 right
that's
now. Sorry,
insane.
7.8.
as of March 2020. So it might have been up by now.
Hmm.
I don't know where to find actually the exact number.
And finding a good graph is
With with
achievable.
the fact that we have so many people on the planet too, even like becomes like almost like that, you know, like related to you know trying to have a kid in this day and age with all the stuff that we got going on now. It's like it'd be almost like a benefit to just not have a kid because overpopulation and all that
Well, yeah.
stuff.
I mean, this is why you see in developed countries, and generally speaking, the more developed a country is, the more of a population ages, where the parents or couples will actually have less and less children. The more developed, like, countries, there's just people are smart. They go, I want to have a child later on in life, rather than being dumb and horny and just shagging and popping out kids left, right, and center, like you see in many third world countries, because they need to, because the kids ain't going, not all the kids are going to survive.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's oh god, I don't even know how they do it with like 14 kid families and all that stuff. I don't know how the fuck.
Because they know, it's because they know probably like only 2 or 3 will survive. They have to. It's
Oh
very,
God, no.
very morbid.
That is
And
very.
also, you
Ugh.
got countries like China where they had the one child policy, and you saw how disastrous that was
They're
with
still number one
yeah, but
for
they actually now
population growth.
they're now allowing parents to have 3 children because they've actually run into the problem of they've stopped the population from growing. However, they need it to not stagnate. They want it to kind of grow more. And what they're finding
Mhm.
is no one wants to reproduce and the population's sloping, kind of like what happened in China. Not China, sorry, Japan. How
Japan. Yeah, Japan.
it you look at that pyramid, I forget what it's called. The age pyramids, whatever graph.
I think I
It's
know what you're on about.
it's not the population pyramids. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Japan's is not looking good. It's an aging population with no one having children. That's not a good place to be.
Yeah,
You want it either straight or a pyramid, not an inverted pyramid.
yeah, it's oof.
Guys, can we just agree that the correct way to handle this situation is to go with the Daniel Tosh strategy, which
What is
is
that?
everybody. All right, so nobody has any more kids, right? We're done. No more
Right.
kiddos. They're all
Okay.
gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then we spend the next 60 to 70 years just pissing through the Earth's natural resources, having the biggest party that we can. Huh? Huh?
I mean,
It's
that's
got some
very
perks.
I
great.
mean,
However, that's insanely selfish.
What? Heck the kids.
Exactly.
Okay.
I said it's selfish. It doesn't mean I'm against it. I'm British.
uh,
What do you think our
I
ancestors have been doing?
I'm somewhat glad that there's people in there's like people in my family that have gone having a kid and everything, carrying on the family tree, I guess. And
Why?
then
Is it because you're not going to bother?
yeah, it just means I don't have to bother. It's like my brother's already done it, so it's just whatever happens there now. I'm just
Yeah,
here
I
like,
get ya.
yep, don't mind me. I'm just gonna live my best life.
So, yeah, personally, I
Living my
reckon,
best
like, with
life.
time, I'll probably will want to make a child to carry down my genes. Because they're not
Mm.
that inferior, believe it or not.
But yeah. All right, you wanna have a drink? Drinkers? Any drinkers?
Yeah.
Yes.
We went from the meaning of life to screw children.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it happens.
cheers.
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 All right.
So current world population right now is 7.873 billion.
Wow, that's insane.
Damn,
What the
we
It's
fuck?
kind of
I'm pretty
speed
sure
running it.
the growth
Yeah,
is predicted to
China.
slump, isn't it? And
Pardon
see,
you?
I think if I remember right, it's supposed to flatten out around like 10 to 11 billion.
Mm.
Hmm.
I can't
God,
recall
imagine
finding the
how,
graph.
bro. We're considering how like insane the pandemic's been throughout the past almost 2 years. Well, 2.5, no, 1.5 years. Um, imagine if it was like it just kept escalating. Like considering we also
Worse than it
how many
is.
people how many people did we lose? It was like over 1 million, wasn't it? Like
Yeah.
around the whole entire planet.
Hold on.
Oh, probably more than that. A lot of countries
Yeah,
lied
Oh
about the numbers.
yeah. Like
Yeah, especially
they're
China.
lying.
China
that
probably
Oh,
lied about their
China,
numbers too.
yes.
that's the thing. Like if that escalates so much more and we never even could even have a vaccine, our population would have hit like really bad. Like we probably would have lost like
Well,
worst case scenario, probably like a third.
but the reason why COVID-19 was so severe is because of it's just how we are. Because international travel is so readily available, it's basically a virus's wet dream to be able to spread that fast. Because if you look at the SARS outbreak in what was it? The and like Mars, like the similar COVID outbreaks that happened
Yeah,
10, 20 years ago. I'm not too. I mean, it crippled Asia. However, the Western world never really had any issues with it because international travel was not at that point. Yet
yeah,
with
that's
COVID-19,
true.
it spread like wildfire because people could travel so freely. Because of that,
Yeah,
though, the Western world, they weren't ready for a pandemic response. Where most Asian countries, they had been through that already. They know what happens when a virus outbreak happens. So that's why, like, you see, like, Taiwan and most Asian countries, yes, they were hit hard, but they weren't hit as hard as I'd say the Western countries. Like, look at Italy, look
mm,
at us,
yeah, no, it
America.
was really bad. We're
We,
lucky that we even held off the Black Plague back then, with the
Awesome.
technology
Yeah.
we had back then. Jesus,
well, yeah,
but yeah,
it's interesting.
uh,
Like, the most deadly viruses aren't the ones that are guaranteed to kill you. They're the ones that are most infectious. Because like
yeah,
Ebola, you get all scared about that, but it's too it's too lethal for its own good. It kills too quickly to infect others. So that's why you don't get severe
Yeah.
outbreaks. Where COVID, if it only kills like 1%, but it can spread rapidly, that 1% becomes a massive number when it's the whole
yeah.
world.
Oh, definitely.
Anyway, this is
Anyway,
Jesus Christ,
yeah,
we derailed
we
quickly.
yeah, no, that happens. We've derailed a few times in the previous episodes, but anyway,
That's fine.
I got a question related to actually to the previous question, but like midway through when we was talking about like our goals and stuff like that. Um, what should be the goal of humanity itself? What should be our goal in the many hundreds, even thousands of years of us getting through on this planet? What should our actual goal be, do you think?
Oh, mine would just be simple, just expansion and survival. Because you can only expand and survive till, the heat death of the universe. Like there will be an end eventually, no matter
Yeah.
what. So I think we just got to survive till the end.
There was this thing that I looked up a little while ago actually. Let me check it again. It's related to what we're talking about, but it's got to do with what was it? Uh it's like how like we've advanced so quickly in the span of 10, even 20 years compared to like back then, like with the
Hmm.
technological advances, that we would have this thing where it probably won't be in our lifetime. It might be like what's it? It's like it's like stages, like it's like we're currently like in probably like a type 0 civilization, and there's like these other like
Oh,
um
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, there's like a
I've seen
type 1
that.
and a type 2, and it goes up to like type 6, where like it it gets so like ambitious, shall I say, to where if we lived in a type 6 civilization, we would have like basically
It's it's in
all the
type six.
power, all the power in the
Yeah, I was
universe
about to say
in
type six is
our
basically like you
control.
become a god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like
You know what? You got your Type 6 and all that. Nah. What we really need is we need to follow what Warhammer did, 40k. Just conquer the world and just be fucking like former empire
but
with
yeah,
hive cities and all that crap. I get where you're
Yeah.
coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was actually a thing
we really get
where
close.
we
Like,
we was
mm,
gonna create something called the Dyson sphere, which
that's only theoretical.
it sounds ridiculous, but a Dyson
Doesn't sound
sphere is like
ridiculous. I've seen vacuums before.
I knew you'd say that. But it's like this giant sphere that we would build around like our own planet and basically just
No, it's not. It's around a star. The
oh yeah
idea
around
is
oh yeah oh it's
it
around
would capture all the solar energy of a star.
yeah it's
100%
like
efficiency.
it would have like yeah it would have like a Dyson sphere around all the stars, and then if we go to like the next type of civilization, we start putting spheres around galaxies, and then we put around like super like the super galaxies, you know, like where it's all a cluster, like a little cluster of galaxies. Where we just put spheres around everything, where we just claim all the power. And it's just mind blowing to even like comprehend what we would even do with that power. Because it's just we like that's the thing. It's speechless to even like
Too
talk
bad
about
we
it
will
because
never
it's
get to that
just
point because we'll
yeah.
just end up killing ourselves.
Because I'm pretty sure we're like right now we're only like 0.00 something percent into like type 1 or something like that. Like
Yeah. Well, I
we're
mean, right now we're
so like
limited by how fast we can travel through space.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because effectively, to do any of that, you need to be able to move around way quicker and easier than we can.
Yes, and there's fundamental limits to how fast things can go.
Mm.
I mean, well,
Mm.
Theoretical
y-
limits.
yeah,
Like
because I mean, you get into weird stuff like quantum physics, and you kind of
yeah. Like the goal
like
I reckon
having data or information travel faster than the speed of light. It gets weird very quickly,
yeah.
like
Like
really quickly.
it does sound very science fiction, but it's like you know it does get talked about like
I'm
by
pretty
actual
sure
like
the idea is
scientists and
spawned
everything.
from like uh science fiction. The
Yeah,
idea to encapsulate a star to harness all its power.
I think the short way of putting it is that I reckon the goal for humanity is basically to control matter itself, because everything is matter, and that if we could have that in our grasp, then we could do anything, like literally anything.
Yeah, to understand how the universe functions and how to bend it to bend it to our will.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's
Anyone
that.
watch
I,
it oh sorry, go ahead.
I don't say I don't even think it's that. I mean, it's like a lot of people, like so many people get like too wrapped up in this thought of like, oh man, like we could travel through space, we could, meet other intelligent life, like all this crazy
Oh,
nonsense stuff that would obviously come from us making those technological advancements, but like completely neglect the fact that it's like humans are still humans. Like we're gonna be the exact same no matter where we are. We're just gonna
Yeah.
be doing it on a bigger scale. Like
yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's still gonna be like the Earth, but the universe. Like
You think
Mhm.
geopolitical troubles are hard? Where do you get to galactical? Sheesh.
Yeah. Like, you know, if it's taken us this long to uh
Well, the
eventually
most of
like have the mission to Mars, then just
well, it's
imagine how long it's
we've
going to
only been
take us
around
to
for a short part of like I don't know the universe, like the age of the
yeah,
universe,
that
and
is
our
true.
technology has existentially grown. Like
it'd grow a lot
it's
faster.
hard.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
we're
yeah.
There's a
yeah,
lot of like things in human society that just like force a halt on advancement just to maintain the system that we have in place. It's like,
Look
all
at you,
right,
America.
no, I'm just all right. So I don't know if this is like a philosophical question per se, but how do you guys feel about the fact that every person needs to work?
oh
Good. Every man and woman has a part to play in society.
But here's my
uh,
thing. All right, wait, Caustic, let's get your thought on it first.
I was just think like it is like um it is weird that we're all like, in this day and age that we're working now, but like, or like majority are working for something because, you know, you need to work to get money, and then you need the
Yeah.
money to get food to be alive. Whereas, like, back then, working was like, well, like, we're talking like way
You
back, like
didn't
when we're,
work, you didn't have food to eat. You'd
yeah,
make your
but
own meal.
at the same, but like back then, like people, like, we're talking like, let's say like primal, like there was no working.
Primal.
There was no working.
Well,
People were just like every
Well,
man
all
for
the
no,
work
themselves.
was hunting
no,
and
no,
building
yeah,
shelter, and yeah, all the work was literally
yeah. The work
survival.
was hunter, yeah, survival. It's just the thing
Yeah,
is, survival, in my opinion, has just changed in this day and age
it
from
went from,
primitive hunter survival to working to acquire goods via bartering.
yeah,
Yeah.
mhm,
It just gets into like we literally have to like slow down advancement to keep certain people employed. It's like, for example, like let's say truck drivers, right? If we didn't have a bunch of lobbyists that were pushing to make sure that advancements made on self-driving cars weren't halted, we would already have self-driving cars, self-driving trucks. The reason it's getting lobbied against is obviously it would put truck drivers out of work. And then, they don't have a job anymore. Whereas if we had a
mm,
system that not everybody needs to work, because in my opinion, not everybody needs to work. And I'm okay with accepting that as a part of technological advancement. Certain positions are going to get outphased. Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, we do not need people working a register at McDonald's. Those touchscreens work great. I haven't even talked to a McDonald's employee in I don't even know how many years.
Oh, yes, I see
It's
where you're
fantastic.
coming from,
It's
but
kind of like I
I
get
do
the
think
argument
it's
of like you
wasting
want everybody to
manpower.
do their part, but I don't think everybody necessarily needs to do a job.
yeah,
So, I
and
see what
that's
you're
nothing.
saying though,
Not
but
everyone
yeah,
can do a job either. There's people that just physically or mentally can't
Yeah.
work, but that also, but that's like, but that's when it, like benefits and all that
Yep.
stuff come into
hmm.
play because it helps those who can't work.
Yeah.
But for the
And
people
removing
that,
I
oh, sorry,
see my stance on this is yeah, not every job is valuable. I agree. However, just saying because your job isn't valuable, you shouldn't work. I see that as a wasted manpower. You do not want to waste manpower. And to go back to like Brian about you saying about the lobbyists, I kind of see that as a kind of a flaw in how American politics work. The fact that lobbyists can have such an influence. It from my stance from Britain, I find that quite I don't know, shocking. The fact
Well,
that
I
big
mean, that's more of a
corporations.
worldwide thing. I mean, they're not
Well,
making the
no,
argument
yes,
that like self-driving stuff is bad. They're making the argument of like, hey, if you actually, put this out on the market, you're going to lose, I don't know how many truck drivers are, 2 million people are going to be out of work, you know? And that's not just in America. I mean, everywhere has
I mean,
truck
yeah,
Global,
it is.
drivers.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is a global issue, but the way I see it is America is basically the country where the technology is being developed the most, and it gets crippled and hampered by corporations who are selfishly trying to maintain their power and money.
mm,
Yeah. That gets into a lot of weird stuff. Like, I
Yeah,
know,
it does get weird and
like
complicated. Yeah,
even at like at a small level, right? So it's like, I do data analytics, right, for a company, and sometimes I help with like automating like manual task, whatever,
yeah,
with like code and stuff, right? And there's a lot of people that are like afraid to let like management know if I do these projects for them because it'll be like something where like they gotta like copy and paste stuff, you know,
mm,
and that'll usually take them, 4 hours to get it all done. And I write them a code and it's done in 5 seconds.
yes,
And
and then
so as
basically
far
you
as
make it, you create redundancies. You do.
yeah, and so for them, it's kind of like, well, if my boss knows that this task only takes me 5 seconds, and that you just go to a computer and click run, do they still need me to do it? Are they gonna give me more work? Like, am I now gonna have to do more work because my time was freed up from this task? So
Mm,
it's like even at a
Uh,
small level, not even
yeah.
entire jobs.
That ties into like how humans are naturally selfish. Like, yeah, we
Yeah.
could make things so much more efficient. However, we want to be we want to make money, we want to survive, we want good things. So if we find a better way and it harms us, we're gonna maybe cover it up, and that's why I look at like big oil, all the big tech companies, or the shady ones at least.
Linus Tech Tips. We're
Yeah.
coming for you.
No, no,
You see how many graphics
not
cards that
Linus.
man has? I could use a graphics card.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We're gonna go to Canada. Yeah, we're gonna be like, hey, Linus, mate, you kind of hoarding a little bit too much tech.
give us the tag. You know,
Here's a
we know,
tech tip for you. We're gonna bash your skull in if you don't give us a card.
we know you have that supercomputer that's built for NASA in your basement. Give it now.
How
Hand it
how long
over.
till he has a supercomputer? He has a quantum computer in his basement.
Quantum
Hey,
computer.
hey
He's
guys, it's
got a
me,
time
Linus
machine in
here.
his basement. It's just a computer. Just
Wait. This is when we're gonna find out Linus is just a robot.
oh god.
The whole channel is a front.
It's probably how he gets the videos out every day for the past like 7 or 8 years he's been doing it. Not even
Dude,
that,
if he
longer
is a
than that.
robot, he's a good robot. Like he must be like version 2 of from the company that made Zuckerberg. He was a good
Well,
first
yeah,
attempt,
yeah,
but it's a
yeah.
little too obvious.
Did you see Linus 1.0 when he was working at his old company? I forget the channel name.
Oh, I know what you're on about. It's
Yeah,
fucking
NC or something, isn't it?
oh
He bought the YouTube. No, he tried to buy the YouTube channel but lost out.
it was
I kind of felt bad for him when he lost that because I mean I can see why he wanted to buy it because he basically yeah it was
NCIX, that was it.
NCIX yeah. Okay, so let's get back to philosophy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have another question. And this is I'd say like probably a
Dude, I
more
wouldn't surprise if he has his fucking brain uploaded already. Sorry.
probably. No, I
Sorry.
wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, here's a more personal
Let's talk about
philosophy question.
consciousness.
We can do that for the next one.
No,
But yeah,
let's not. This is gonna. You have a better idea.
All right. If you had to guess, what do you think would be the most likely way you'll die?
Already in this
Unknown health
topic. Oh
condition.
boy.
Hmm?
I really accept anything could happen to me at least. I'm not afraid of it.
What about you, Blitz? What would you think
It'd probably
the
just be
most
like
likely way?
a undiagnosed health condition.
Yeah.
I hate going to the doctors. I have like a phobia of it shit. Like, to be honest, I kind of in the mindset of I'd rather be ignorant because ignorance is bliss. I'd
Oh,
rather
that's
just live my life.
Ignorant is
yeah.
a bliss.
Yeah, I have
But
a
at the same
follow-up
time, I could
question
just
for
go to
that.
London and get shagged by the local chavs. Either or.
Yeah. I have a
Bran?
follow-up question related to that, but yeah,
Oh.
Bran.
A goose knife fight.
Goose knife fight?
This
Listen.
meme.
Listen, have you ever been attacked by a goose?
They're terrifying.
I've seen a goose, but I've not squared
Alright,
up with
then
one.
Caustic, I need you to be quiet for a second. You don't know the horrors. Alright. You don't know what it's like when a goose is charging you. And you are just a young kid with some bread, trying to feed some ducks. Innocent, nice ducks. And then a goose comes charging at you. It's screaming. They have
Oh god,
teeth.
the
It's
horror.
terrifying. Now imagine that terrifying horror, but with a knife. Do you think you stand a chance, Caustic? Do you think you can fight up a
How would
goose
the
with a knife?
how would the goose hold the knife? Would it be
In
in
its
their
beak.
mouth? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It
For
sounds like
some
you're bringing
reason,
up some past trauma.
for some reason, I was just thinking of the goose running at you, holding the knife with its with its wing.
Hey, you can fucking.
Uh,
You gotta
don't
give me
even
your
try
phone.
to
I'm
bring
gonna
that up.
shank you.
you can tape the knife to the goose's wing.
Just tape a bunch of knives to it.
Killer goose on the loose. Hey.
The thing is, that probably would have passed for an actual weapon in like World War II, like the fucking
Oh
pigeon.
God,
Oh yeah, wasn't there like
there
a
are
seen the-
fucking
ridiculous business going
Did you
on.
see? Did you see the homing missiles that use pigeons?
yeah.
Yeah,
That
that shit
shit
was
was
What?
crazy.
fucking wild.
Okay, so what they did is they trained pigeons to basically tap on ships. Like they basically have a screen and they'll tap where they saw a ship. You have a couple pigeons in one bomb, and basically you can figure out where they're tapping. You can like triangulate how to adjust a missile to go to it. So yeah, they'll just be tapping, tapping, tapping as they go right into a ship to blow up.
It's
Because they were conditioned
crazy.
when they tap the ship, they get food. I think it was only prototype. It
What?
never got into actual use. That was one of the
Yeah.
British like fucking
No,
ideas. I fucking love it. I think
back
there's
then
also
they were
All right.
Batman.
coming up with
Here's the thing
some
about
wild
bird
stuff.
missile. Is that some engineer had to sell that to his supervisor. And then be like, all right, we gave you all the computers we had, we gave you all the best coders. What'd you figure out? And he's like, okay, now let me get through the whole thing before you say anything. Are those pigeons in your office? Let me get through the whole thing before you say anything.
I can bring up more crazy like I can bring up one from the Cold War. So America had decided Americans, you love your great ideas.
Yeah.
It's amazing this one. You guys had you had basically atomic landmines. And the electronics were very sensitive at the time because as you know, this is a Cold War era. Like you know, te integrated circuits are just becoming a thing, I believe, and all that. So yeah, they're very sensitive to temperature, and you know, Europe is very cold. So to keep these circuitries safe, they would use a chicken to keep it warm. I kid you not.
Fuck.
They would dig up some ground, place the nuke landmine,
Yeah.
and then put a chicken in there to basically let it make sure the electronics survive.
Well, I
The
mean, at
chicken
that
would
point, that's just multitasking. That's just smart. You keep
the
the
chicken
you
would
keep
die.
the
The chicken would
landmine
die after
operation.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, you keep the
But
landmine operational, and if it goes off, then you have
isn't it?
a fully cooked
Isn't it?
chicken.
Oh yeah,
It's an
atomic
atomic
chicken.
landmine.
All right, so you get some
America.
superpowers from it. Sorry.
Atomic KFC.
Ooh, nice.
But I
That
just love
shit
the idea
busting.
of the fact that like that's the best way of like keeping it safe was just putting a chicken in an atomic bomb.
What's
That's
that? Add a heater
insane.
coil wire? No, 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 no.
Nah, nah,
Chicken.
nah, nah. Nah, that requires a power source.
We don't want to waste that.
Fucking
Yeah.
power source. You think we got that? But we have enough chickens? Of course we have enough chickens, Johnson.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
it-
We need to do a topic about like World War II and like the
oh
Cold War
no,
because
dude,
trust me.
history will be a future topic.
Oh,
So
mate, I gotta be there for that.
yeah. But
I'll be gushing.
coming back to the question though, if I w-
Oh yeah.
if I was my most likely way to die would probably be if I would had to guess, considering um genetics,
Oh, no.
probably it's probably gonna be cancer.
Oh
Knock on
shit.
wood. Knock on wood.
Touch all the
Hopefully
wood.
not. Hopefully not. But yeah, I feel like it would happen at a very old age though.
See, this is why I like haven't done like a DNA test or anything like with origins because I just wouldn't want to know of any genetic disorders that could kill me later on. I'd
Yeah,
rather just let it happen.
and
The
that
fact that
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel
Fuck.
like some of them are preventable things. So like knowing
true.
about
Okay,
it would let you prevent it.
okay. Okay, maybe if they're preventable, then yes.
I mean, if I consider if I say that I'm probably gonna die from cancer, if I'm like 60
You
or
can be on
70
point.
odd, they might actually have something for that by then because that's what like
Well, yeah,
20
cancer
20
treatments are doing well.
like
Like,
2060 2070, like we're gonna be so advanced by then. Oh god, that's a
well, yeah,
weird thought.
we can kill tumors in the brain by basically using radiation because we know how. The, so, we can do it. I won't go down that route of explaining like that crap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
like
lot.
plus because you know about it, you'll probably be more aware of looking for symptoms and test, checking, so you'd
Yeah.
catch it early, where you
You-
could prevent it. Where
All
I'm just going to be
diseases
here
and
like just
injuries.
dead.
All diseases and injuries could be cured as soon as they get the Michael Reeves surgery robot in hospitals across the world.
Oh, fuck's sake.
It'll be solved. All the
Um,
issues gone.
Yeah, a follow-up question to the previous one. Blitz has kind of
Oh, I got
already
a
answered.
question.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
hold
I
on.
got a question though. Come
Hold on,
on.
hold on. One more, one more.
Ooh, ooh.
Um,
What did you
Blitz is
ask?
kind of. Shut up. Blitz has already kind of answered it, but would you want to know you are going to die beforehand or die suddenly without warning?
Suddenly without warning.
Yeah.
Definitely suddenly.
What? I want to know.
Because
There's a lot of planning that goes on when you die. If you know ahead of time, it makes it like way
okay.
easier.
Okay, see, I like how you're thinking of other people. That implies there'll be other people to care.
Mm.
Listen,
Oof.
my
Sorry,
the
that's a bit of a
future
downer.
dog,
That
the
was a
future
dark.
dog
That
that
was
I'm
a
gonna
bit
have.
dark.
Listen,
Jesus
possibly
Christ.
multiple dogs. I need to have a game plan for him. All right.
Holy
What are they gonna
fuck.
do? What am I? I'm just gonna die, and then my dogs are just at my house. Like, when's he gonna fucking come home from?
Oh
Oh god. I'm sorry,
No. So
Chief.
if I know when I'm gonna die, then I can have a game plan. I'm gonna surprise all the humans though. Don't worry, none of the humans will know. I'll just be like, "Hey brother, could you come over and pick up the dogs on Tuesday?" Why? No reason.
Opens
Just
the door and it's just you hanging. Oh
no,
dear.
no. He's just no. He comes, grabs the dogs, and then the next day I'm just
Oh.
outsies, and he's like,
Uh,
"Are these my dogs
Mu-
now?" And then
Motherfucker,
there's just a note attached
he's
to one of their
screwed me
collars that
up.
it's like, "These are your dogs now."
damn.
Okay,
Yeah,
I see where you're coming
Yeah.
from.
No.
I
Realistically, yeah, I would want to know.
yeah, I
Just
would want to know too. I have a lot of people I care about. I want to tell them that I
Don't
love
worry,
them
Chi.
before I
We can
go.
be together. We can just die together, just instantaneously.
Right.
Dude, bet?
There, suicide pact.
Packed
Fuck,
pog.
dude.
All right. Chi, what was your
Yo.
question, by the way, before you forget?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, I, what was the question I had in mind?
Oh,
So,
you
Fuck's
think
sake.
for everyone in this call or that's listening, would you actually? So, what do you guys think about cloning slash uploading your conscious on a database?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Now this is the conversation I like.
So this is like very hard because a lot of people I feel like are gonna say they wouldn't because they feel like it wouldn't be them.
See,
For me, at least I would
yes.
actually
Oh
let myself
God.
get uploaded and have my conscious somewhere else.
Chi,
Because
I'm getting Soma flashbacks. Chi.
yeah, no,
Oh
this is
yes,
this is related to
exactly,
this is
exactly.
related to Soma. This is related to Soma, but
It really
also the
is
cloning part. But the
because yeah.
the cloning part could be something else too. Because let's say we stop the population like having offsprings. Like so we stop having kids, but we let cloning. So people that actually has like physical strength or like like their mental capacity is actually off the roof of some fucking dumb shit,
Hmm.
crazy shit. And then you clone those people. And what would you feel about that kind of stuff? For me, cloning
I
it's
love this.
fine when
This
it
is
comes
great.
if you know if it's a clone.
all right.
And
I got a question.
No,
ooh,
All right. So if your consciousness is uploaded, right, and you can just be like dropped into new bodies, right? That's the premise we're going with. Does your
yeah,
consciousness like exist? Like, is your consciousness like active when it's in wherever it's stored at, or is it only active once it gets put into a clone?
I feel like
Like,
it's
are you
two
thinking?
separate conscious. This is okay. It's I spoiler warning for that doesn't know Soma.
Yeah.
If we might get into topic with Soma, and it might be spoiler warning for that game, by the way.
Oh, well, I'm just wondering because, all right, so if the premise is like that your consciousness is still active wherever it's being stored, right? And it keeps thinking,
Mhm.
I think most people would just go mentally insane existing for that long. And the clones would just become deteriorated over time. Like the clones just would be non-functioning over time because they would just all be mentally insane.
Mm.
Hmm.
Because if you're able
okay,
to just sit there and think all
interesting
that
take.
time,
Yeah.
most of the
No.
time, once you exist for a couple hundred years, like,
Mm.
and all you're
That's a
able to
lot
do
of
is think,
thinking.
yeah.
True,
Mm.
because we have never survived that long, and I say in
Mhm.
quotes, the brain would not be able to take it. But I really like that question you made, like you're saying that people wouldn't want to clone themselves because they know it's not themselves. I I agree. It would not be yourself. It would be an extension of yourself, and I would definitely clone myself because, in my opinion, it's like in Soma, you're letting yourself in a way live on. You're just not that lucky person. You're not on the lucky side.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
um
that
I had a
ending!
whole
Oh, that
different
ending! I love
I had
Soma.
a I had a whole different opinion about the whole cloning and uploading your mind and your consciousness to other clones or just a server or even like just a folder or something. Because um if I'm knowing that living in a world that was created like for my consciousness to live in, um like I just wouldn't like I would feel like I'm going insane just living in that world because I know that it's not real.
Well, caustic.
And
How do you know the world that
if
you're in right now isn't that world?
I
True. I see where you're
Ooh,
coming from,
yeah,
Caustic.
no,
Mhm.
I made like a whole thing about it when I was playing Soma on my Twitch. I'm not trying to plug it, but um,
Yo, we're plugging.
Yeah.
Yo, go
in a
follow me
minute.
on Instagram.
But but no, I had like a whole thing of like where I just yeah. If I
Yeah,
was
no,
if
I
I
get
if I
you.
had the choice to um be cloned and live on for God knows how many years, I would just say no. Like I'll be content with my
So,
Uh,
I'll be content with my existence
mm.
because
what if?
uh
You
yeah.
know, someone died. You technically killed yourself to live on. Is that kind of where you're going? Would you say maybe?
Mm, yeah, well, I mean, if it was a life and death situation, like if you was about to die and you had the choice to live on in another world that where you can technically live forever in that sense, I would refuse. Even if it was like if I was in life support right now and someone offered me that opportunity, I would just say no. I'll just be
Fair
like,
enough.
I'm okay.
What
I
if
would
you had
take
a
that opportunity.
choice? What if you had the choice to actually stop? Like, so for example, you're living on, like, let's say it's been life support, and then you uploaded your conscious somewhere else. It's been 50 years, 100 years, or something, and then you decided, okay, I actually don't want to be. You don't want to be alive. You don't want to be unconscious for more, like, basically you don't want to be immortal, but you have the chance or the option to actually just, like, cut it off. Would you
Hmm.
still do it, or would you not do it?
Um, I mean, it depends how you're feeling by then. If you feel
Yeah,
like you're okay to keep going, or if you don't feel right, and you're just like, this doesn't feel right. I don't want to. I don't know if I should keep going or anything like that. And you're just like, all right, no,
yeah.
shut me down. I'm done.
See, yeah. So but when I say like, sorry, excuse me. When I say you know, I live on in another consciousness or body, for example, I I'm under the assumption that I retain my full autonomy. I can make the choices. If I want to just go, I can do that. If I want to keep going, I can.
Mm.
Because in a way, it's weird because I'd say I'd let myself decide once I'm on the other side.
Now the
It'd be
thing
weird
is
because
though, depending at what type of system that you'd be loaded up in, like let's say it's either a Soma situation where you're just in space, no other life forms at all, constant constant battery where it's just gonna stay on for as long as it can, well probably forever, or let's say
eternal darkness.
we're still in the world's thriving with many people on the planet as usual, but they've discovered you know cloning and or even if not just having a system where you live in a world of your own through your consciousness being uploaded to some form of server. But let's say in that world, what are the chances that you choose that you're gonna live on in the next life in a simulation where your consciousness has been uploaded, but in the real world, bad people have gone and hacked it or fucked with it. Like, how would you feel in that situation, knowing that you've uploaded yourself to a world that is being monitored by the outside people, and someone comes along and fucks with it? Like, they could do anything. They could make you live in a nightmare. They could shut you down just like that, no warning.
See,
They
the weird
could
thing is,
make you turn
I
bad.
yeah.
It's just,
Oh, okay.
there's so many things that could happen if you're living in a world that's not real and is being, powered by some source in the real world. Heck, even this Soma situation, if you're just flying through space in this forever powered machine, what are the chances that you just fly into a fucking star? Like, you're just
Surprisingly very low because there's a lot of there's a lot of
Wait,
distance between everything. But I get what you're saying. Um, to go back to being controlled by the exterior world, that is an interesting thing to think about. Like personally thinking, like if I had uploaded to myself, if I was still around, I would see that as an extension of my body, and I would just say good luck to myself, and I just hope I
mm,
do well. But I do not like the idea of them having such control, like
yeah.
them being able to change my mind, my will. That I do not like.
Yeah, if it's, like, they're obviously
I would be opposed to that.
the people would be like, okay, yeah, this is all good. You're totally fine. We've got it all monitored. This is the next life. Good people. And then, some bad little hacker comes along and
Russian.
uploads a fucking virus to the system, and next thing you know, you're living in a nightmare. You've got Agent Smiths running around shooting you in the face.
But yeah, see, yeah, it's like if I was a consciousness, I would hate that insanely. But if I was still around humanly, I would say that sucks. But that is not fully me. It's a version of me. I know.
Mm,
I think it's because I see a disconnect between. I understand that, in my opinion, consciousnesses are not transferable. Like in Soma, you know, you do get left behind because you aren't transferable. It's just you're lucky
You're a
that you
copy.
got this
You're
far.
copy paste. Yeah.
copy pasta.
Exactly. So which is why I accept the disconnect, and which is why I'm like, yeah, it may suck. However, I can only hope my alternate self can persevere through that.
Do you think it's now? Do you see it as like humane just to have a clone of yourself, and then that clone dies off, and then you get another clone like from that clone? Like, you just constantly
Why does
having
it?
clones of yourself. Like let's
We
say
get into
you
some Palpatine shit now in like expanded universe.
like let's say instead of it being like a consciousness where you're being uploaded to like a world, you have a consciousness that's been uploaded to a physical body where you can still live on in the real world, but through like either it be like a synthetic type of thing, like a
Yeah,
machine,
basically
or
a artificial body, whether
yeah,
it's
like a very
organic or not.
yeah,
I get where
yeah,
you're coming from. I
like
still would say it's a disconnect.
like
I don't think
you
consciousnesses are transferable.
mm, like
But we don't
you,
we don't
you
know about consciousness enough to make decisions like that. We
yeah.
barely understand how the brain functions
Like,
or what
like
consciousness is.
your clone self dies, and then you get cloned again, and then you're just like, do you remember your previous clone, or you know,
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah,
like, do you look back and you're like, I died, didn't I? Again,
but
and you're like, oh shit, wait.
at the same time though, it's like you can become because of that. You could lull yourself into a false sense of sort of security that death isn't as permanent and it should not be feared as such, and you become more careless, you lose that survival instinct where you just keep
Yeah.
killing yourself
No,
because
yeah,
you
no,
just don't see the
yeah,
risks.
no, you just wander off and you just don't know, you just fucking fall off something, you
You know,
break your neck,
you
and then
go,
you're
oh,
like,
I
oh, this
want to
is fine,
try
I'm gonna
do a
come back.
backflip off a cliff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, if I don't survive, I'll just come
It
back.
becomes a game then. You're just like, you just don't even care. You just run like you're playing GTA. You just drive, you break out you fly out of a fucking window, wasted. Oh, it's fine. I
Yeah,
can respawn.
Yes.
Oh God.
Wait, I didn't hear
Drink?
Brand's like answer
oh
Oh,
yeah,
to
Bram.
the thing. Would you, Brand?
Wait, to which thing?
Would you upload yourself or clone yourself?
Oh. I think that's so like dependent on what the actual situation is. Um, like if it's a situation where it's basically I upload my conscious and it just exists in that exact state and doesn't
Yeah.
like progress, like I'm not able to think, like it just is kind of a stationary copy, maybe. I just feel like once you get into the territory of like having your consciousness exist in a system that surpasses what the brain is capable of and is also sustainable enough that you can live past the age that a human is supposed to go, that your mental state would pretty much fall apart, in the sense of like your brain doesn't have any like biological holdbacks anymore. So it can not do a lot more things, but like it can basically be the most efficient form of itself because it doesn't have any
Well,
like
yeah,
biological holdbacks.
yeah. And it doesn't have its regulators. You know, you don't have like the
Yeah.
hormones, everything that affects how the brain functions. Would you have to artificially implement with that? Huh. That's an
Yeah, and
interesting
so it
point.
literally
I've
just
not.
becomes a box that your brain is able to think and progress in, and just generally the way that like brains work. If you can't do anything because you don't have a physical body, you're gonna figure out the limitations of whatever system you're in, and then it just becomes a crazy mess
Oh,
of
I can
you just
expand on
like,
that point.
eh,
So, like, yeah, your brain is in this. I don't know. I say like higher plane. Basically, it's in a system, a network. How will the brain react to having no physical self, no arms, no hands, no sight, just existing? Because you see how people struggle with like losing limbs, how the brain struggles
oh
to
yeah, they have
accept
the
that a limb's been lost.
phantom limbs.
Yeah. So yeah, phantom pain.
phantom
Whoa,
pain.
whoa, whoa. But
No, I
how
think
would
the first,
how
I
would
think
you
the
react with no body?
yeah, if he had
Nothing.
no body, I think the way that it would work is basically there would be a few, well, based on what we're getting at, there would be a brief period of time where your brain is basically um freaking out in like full panic mode because it doesn't understand what's happening. And then after a certain given time, it would give itself some physical form, um,
It would
effectively
trick itself.
establishing some form of self. Yeah. Because obviously you have to exist if you can make thoughts, right? So if you
Mm.
exist, that means you have to have some kind of form. And so it would artificially create a form that it can see itself, regardless of if that's represented anywhere else.
Hmm.
Right? It kind of gets into like
Very
how
fascinating.
when people in VR chat have like phantom sense, phantom touch, all that kind of
Yes,
nonsense.
you're going down that.
And yeah, so it's like clearly like you're not your avatar. Like you know that. Like you might be
Yes.
Yeah.
sitting in like a similar position or whatever, but like at the end of the day, like you know, like okay, like I'm looking at like a 3D model, but like for a lot of people, like when they get like touched or something like that, they can, feel it. And that's because their brain is associating that form with itself, thereby creating that feeling.
I believe they will still be connected to reality. It's just the brain is just identified so much with that self, virtual
Hmm.
self that it. Because like I so wish there was more studies on you know phantom senses and all that. I've tried looking into it, and the most I could ever see was using virtual reality to help treat people with phantom pain. So, say someone's lost an arm, they would basically use virtual reality to alleviate that pain, where they could actually see an arm and the brain could go, it's still there. When in reality, it's not.
Yeah.
There's so little documentation on like how phantom sensors are, how they work, how they exist, how the brain can be tricked. Because you got the lovely old example of you have your hand on one side of a panel and you have a fake hand on another side. They touch your real hand and then they touch the same finger of your fake hand, and you feel it. It shows how the brain can be so easily tricked to fit its own perception of reality.
On a related like topic, well, question to
Shot.
well,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Let's go.
Wait, I'm getting a straight one. Hang on.
Okay.
Here's my
Cheers.
thought.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's
Cheers.
a related topic. Let's go.
It do be kind of related though.
Mm.
It's still
Uh,
philosophical in the nature.
but the actual question is like uh why do humans have such a strong urge to distract themselves from the real world? Like why do you think we do like
Well, that's just progression. So most animals, aside from humans, are still in a stage where their day-to-day life is survival. I need to find food, I need to find shelter, I need to do this and this. Basically, humans have advanced to a point where we don't have to worry about that kind of stuff anymore, aside from,
Look at
poverty,
the
all that kind of stuff.
Neanderthals.
hmm,
But
They
yeah,
were
it's
on par
basically,
with us, but we were curious. And curiosity led us here, where the Neanderthals just kind of carried on, and they carried on to their own extinction.
yeah. So it's kind of like we've hit a point where it's like we don't need to worry about our own survival for the most part. And so we're left to kind of do whatever, which means a lot of figuring out what we should be doing, what we want to do.
yeah.
And so that leads to a lot of questions, oh, why am I here? What should I be doing?
Boom. Philosophy has been born.
Yeah, kind of. Philosophy gets born when you don't have to worry about survival anymore. It's kind of those thoughts of like, oh, well,
Because it's all just it's
why
just
why am I doing any of this,
question. Yeah. So it just becomes questions instead of well, just doing anything else practical. Because you know that you can just ask yourself questions all night and then just go to the fridge and just get a nice sandwich out and just be like, yep, don't need
Yeah.
to go hunting for that.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like, of course, there's a million things that you could do. You could, tidy up your apartment. You could do a workout. You could, there's a million things that you could do, but a
Be
lot of it's
productive.
stuff that you don't like need to do.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
it's all
hey, I don't need
distractions.
to do this right now. I should do it, but like, it's not the end of the world if I don't. Where it's like, animals and stuff like that that are in like full survival mode. It's kind of like, oh yeah, if I don't do this, I die.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
don't really have that retrospective time to think
They
and
don't have the luxury of time
choice.
And well,
and freedom.
for a lot of us, it's we're living in that reality, but unfortunately, in certain places, humans are still kind of doing that, like
It's
animals.
interesting to look into
Unfortunately,
that.
Mhm.
you're talking like the very poverty like areas in the world.
Well, you
You
still
know, like
have tribes that have been
yeah,
like
there's still
untouched by
there's still
by
tribes that are like back to the primal times that are still going around
well, not
living.
full on primal, but yeah,
Well, you know what I
you're
mean.
definitely right.
Like they're living in that world where they have no distractions. They have to just keep going and going and going every day.
Yeah, it's just not progressed. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like God. It's crazy to think that like that. I forgot what the island's called. There's still like it was like a little documentary or sort of like something like that. Where like
you're going to go around about the island where basically what they tried to film, like a
yeah, they
helicopter
tried to
landed, and
film
they
that, and
threw
there was
spears.
yeah, they were throwing
Yep.
spears and shooting arrows at them and everything. It's like it's like they've just flown into like prehistoric fucking times.
Yeah, I believe that
It's
island actually
weird.
has an exclusion zone around it because it's a protected area.
Yeah, that
Like you're not supposed to be setting
it
foot on there. You're supposed to
that's
just leave and be.
That's
Which is kind of
crazy to
interesting
think
in a
that
way.
a part of the world is frozen in time,
Well, I
basically.
won't say it's frozen in time. It's kind of
I
like,
think.
you know how we have zoos. We just we kind of watch animals. I kind of see it like that. We've managed to like have a tribe of
Oh,
humans, and we're just letting them be, leaving them be. Is it ethical to just leave them in that
I
state of
well,
arguably poverty?
they people. I mean, we could try to help them, but they'll probably refuse if they're
Well, yeah,
like
of
if
course they're
they're
gonna
like
refuse.
you
They
know
don't have.
they see a
Yeah,
giant metal flying thing coming towards them. They think we're aliens.
of course they do because of they've been so isolated for so long.
Yeah. If anything, they could try to approach them kind of like, you know, looking sort of like them in this, like in a similar fashion, like showing up in like a makeshift boat or something like that, and they say, "Oh, we came from another island, and we're here to help you," or something like that. I don't know.
Hardest thing is we'll be breaking the language barrier, which is what I find quite most impressive is how humanity has evolved to have such a diverse range of languages and formal
So many
communications.
languages.
And soon it will all be English.
Exactly.
Why? That's another thing. It's like how did it come to be that
Well, look at history,
English
Caustic.
English
We
is
invaded and
All right,
conquered
I'm
a
not talking
third
about
of the
your
world.
guys' stupid English. I'm talking about the correct American English.
All
All
right,
right.
Bran. Okay, Caustic, you know what to do when he starts speaking American. You mute him.
uh,
It's called English. It's called English, Bran, for a reason. But yeah, basically, we kind of did a good job because I don't know if you knew, back when like the British Empire was a thing, like yeah, English was becoming very popular, but I believe French was like the standard at the time. It was
mm,
Yeah.
falling because we kind of were going around going like, "Hey, French, fuck you, you knobbies. Hey, English, wee." But because we just went around and we kind of just took a bit of land here, took a bit of land there, kind of assisted, I say in air quotes, of developing their countries in quotes. We basically forced them to speak English.
Yeah, it was a lot of that. And
Like, okay, so you
also
say
there's a lot of industry that has like kind of pushed it to it's like a lot of areas need to know English to be a part
yes,
of a specific
exactly.
industry.
Well, Bran, your English is perfect example, code based.
Yeah, code
Like,
base. Also airlines.
mm,
yes,
Yeah, we
yes.
basically
That
forced it where
surprised
all
me.
air traffic has to be done in English.
yeah.
So like anytime they're like calling a tower, being like, "Oh, do I have permission to land?" Doesn't
Okay, it
matter what
is an
country they're in,
interesting question though.
has to be English.
Makes you
Have a guess.
wonder,
What is the
like,
most spoken language by population? Like just by amount of humans that speak it.
uh,
Hold on.
would it even be English at that point? Because
Ah, yes,
even
this is what
though
I'm getting at.
English is very like
It's the
popular and well
I
standard.
feel
known
like it's
around
Chinese.
everywhere, it probably is another language like
Yes, she was right. Last time I checked, it was Mandarin. Or
Mandarin.
new Chinese simplified. I can't remember. Cause I know there's two types, all that rubbish. But yeah, because China's so fucking big,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it technically
it's
is the most
Mandarin.
spoken language, even though
Yeah.
English is the standard.
Yeah, it is crazy, ain't it? Like, considering now China's such a big country and, they speak that, we never really hear it anywhere because it's just all there and not over
It's
here,
so
anywhere
localized.
Yeah.
else. Yeah. Because,
That's
they keep all their stuff to their own. They mind their own business most of the time.
Anyway, where was this philosophical
Uh,
debate going?
yeah,
I lost the question.
I don't actually know. I think it was,
Next question.
yeah.
Next
Let's
all right.
see.
I got a spicy one. I looked at.
Oh,
I did a
okay.
Oh
Google. I
no.
did a Google
Oh
on
no, Bran.
philosophy.
Here we
Oh
go.
I
Okay.
got
no.
a
Let's do it.
spicy boy. All
Oh
right.
no.
The question for you buffoons is: will religion ever become obsolete?
No.
Ooh.
As someone who doesn't
Mm,
believe in religion, I see its value.
I feel, yeah, I think with how religion's gonna go is that, like, no matter how how much like technology there is in like everything and how advanced we become in the future to where we just we always think like it's like it's science did this, science did that. There wasn't nothing created by a being in the sky, but there will still be people in the world that will have like to have something to pray to in sort of like a
Believe in.
way, to believe in, like
Believe in, yeah.
it's like it's not necessarily believing like they are gonna ever just show up or cause a miracle or anything like that, or even like answer their prayers or something like that. It's just kind of like it's just like a way of thinking, like in a very like weird like humane way, where if something bad something bad happens to someone you care about and you want to hope that they're going to be okay, then the people would they would pray for them. Not necessarily like it's just like I would see it not becoming like a thing where it becomes like something where they read it by the book and they follow these rules, these testaments and all that stuff. It's more so like they will just have something to pray to for their friends and family.
I
In a
remember
way,
looking at an
or
old
something like that.
article back in like it
It'll become more
basically
simplified, basically. I feel like
yeah.
religion will become way more simplified and not just so many all these how the Bible's like fucking huge and they have all these stories and all these beliefs and all this stuff that they read into, and sometimes people get a little bit too much into it where it becomes like more than just a religion, like cults and stuff, but I feel
Science
like
has proven
it
religion is valuable. I remember an old article I read up, must have been a couple of years ago, where basically, so yeah, I don't, I'm a bit agnostic. I don't really believe in a religion or follow or practice any. However, I still value its input into the world. Basically, the study looked at it into communities that had no strong religious like activity versus one that did have very strong religious activity. And what it came to conclude was the communities of a strong religious community were more united, worked in better harmony, and had much lower crime rates
it's
than a community
a
that was
peace
just
of
had nothing.
mind. It's a peace
So
of
yeah,
mind, that's what it is.
yeah,
It's
the way I
just
see
something.
religion, it was answering. We fear the unknown. In our blood, we see something we don't know or understand. We naturally fear it and are skeptical about it. And religion was a good answer. It was a good way of tricking our brains into giving ourselves an answer, a reasoning behind the chaotic logic of this world we live in.
Mm.
I still think it would be needed, even though science will become more and more prevalent.
Yeah, it would be science would be way more like just it would be science would be way over religion, but I feel that religion would just become super simplified, that people will
Yeah.
just they'll still have it, but they won't like heavily enforce it on people,
Oh
hopefully,
well, yeah.
anyway.
I mean, look at Europe, for example. If you go back in time, that it was very, very heavily, you'd have the Catholic, Protestant, all that. There was religious wars.
You would literally back then you'd
We
get
have
killed for not being religious.
we have religious freedom now. The Middle East, for example, does not really have that religious freedom, and you can see the tensions that causes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that there's still like wars and stuff happening all because of a religion,
From my perspective, I understand why, though.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah,
They've been
that's because
taught
their
that.
Jesus wasn't the same Jesus that I believe in. My Jesus
Exactly.
is different than their Jesus, which is different than their Jesus. And your guys' Jesus are stupid, and my Jesus is number. Oh, I'm sorry, you listen. I didn't mean to get heated
It's
about it.
okay. I understand. You're American, so your Jesus is
Like,
oil, and that's why you're in the Middle
it's
East.
like
It's okay.
it's like I'm not actually I'm not religious myself, but I did like my mom always used to like tell me that like angels exist, and I have like an archangel that's always watching over me and stuff like that. Like that's as much as I'll believe in when it comes to something like that.
That's
But
probably
you
a
know,
lot nicer than my like religious belief of maybe there's an afterlife, probably not. When I die, it's just gonna be nothing, just
just darkness.
yeah, yeah. I kind of just went, might as well just accept it because
Oh,
like,
now
what's the
I mean,
what's the point of
if we want to
fretting?
if we want to get even more like into that, that could be the next question for our
Oh no,
philosophy.
no. Let's change. Let's change
Is
directions.
there an afterlife?
Let's steer away from existential crises tonight because we're drunk.
I'm getting
Oh, I'm
there.
fucked up. I'm
Oh,
there.
God, no.
Yeah, I thought for a second you may have passed out again.
No, I've been talking. What the fuck you mean?
Not as much as caustic though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Actually, you got another question? You go on.
Yeah,
You go on. You go on.
I got a question.
Have you got one?
What
I
is a
do
question?
not have. Yeah. What is a question? Wait.
Oh no!
Wait a minute. Fuck you.
Ah! At that time.
Let me
Dude,
see.
I don't have a question right now. At least.
Oh, okay. I'll look for another one. Let's see here. Ooh, what's this one?
Yo, we should do some questions where it's like a paradox.
Oh, paradoxes, time travel, all that
Yes.
stuff. Hmm.
There's some good ones, but explaining them is gonna no ad block.
Oh, wait, well, while you're looking for that one, we can do another quick question here.
Yeah.
What is your definition of evil? What do you think is evil in this
Goose.
world? Fucking goose.
Come on, man. You knew I had to do it to you.
Like, like this could be a very subjective thing, but like, it's like, what do you see in life as evil? Like, what could be the
Yeah.
most like?
I think the super high level, like really like big picture looking at it, is evil is something that's purposefully causing harm to someone or something else.
Hmm.
Yes.
Trying to think how to expand that. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know, purposely like doing something knowing you're causing harm without reason. I guess I should add, because sometimes actions do cause harm, but it's kind of like end justifies the mean kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like like for example, we test stuff on lab rats, which of course causes all the rats harm, but helps us create medicine that saves millions of lives.
There's a net gain of innocent, good.
Yeah. It's a
But that
trade
could
off.
get into ethical debates of well, I mean, you got tested on humans eventually.
Yeah. It's
Cough, cough, Japan. Yikes. World War II. Phew.
oh oof. Yeah.
God, sorry,
no.
this is me going back into World War II.
Look, we're not. We'll get you. You'll get your
Oh,
history
flashbacks.
topic.
Non
You'll get.
flashbacks.
You'll get your history topic,
You
Blitz.
weren't
Don't
there,
worry.
man. You weren't there, Chi.
Um,
Okay,
but
I'm
yeah,
looking at all these philosophical paradoxes, and I'm just like dying looking at
yeah,
them.
like, with like evil, I'd say like you can be evil like in a very like schemy way where you can like cause chaos in situations, but no, I think like yeah, I sort of agree with sort of like yeah, with like it's if you physically cause harm to someone, then even as far as to um murdering someone, then yeah, that's the pinnacle of evil.
Murder? Oh,
Yeah.
really, caustic?
Evil can
Really,
be.
What?
I feel
You
like
wouldn't
evil.
murder
Nah.
Hitler if you were in the same room as him?
Well,
Okay,
that
so you know what? You're gonna bring up. You're gonna bring up
that
that. I'm gonna talk about. We're talking about philosophy. How have we not mentioned Dr.
oh,
Jordan
that-
Peterson? So,
oh,
Bran, you said about Hitler. if we were actually to go back in time and say you were in Germany at like 1939 or 38,
Can
you
we
wouldn't
talk about this?
kill. Sorry, what?
I was just thinking, like, is this? Wait, yeah, we should be
Oh no,
allowed to
I'm
talk
going to
about
go
this.
into a philosophical. Okay, so Dr. J. Peterson, great Canadian philosopher. But he would argue. So you go back in time, or no, you're not back in time. You're in Germany, 1938, 39. You know how everyone's like, oh, if I was there, I'd be the good guy. The dark truth of reality is, you would not be the good guy. You would be part of the masses who would be blindly supporting and falling for the lies. That's the dark truth, you know. You go back in time, you say you'd kill him, but you would have been a part of it. So
Mm,
very few people had the gall to stand up to that.
Well, I
yeah.
mean, if you were in that country, you either listened or you died. And also there was a
Exactly.
lot of like fallacy of like, yeah, we know this is shitty. You do it, I'll take responsibility.
The
Like you do it.
hindsight is a thing, because you think about it, at that time, they were seen as the group that was going to be giving them economic prosperity. After the fall of the Weimar Republic and the Great Depression, people were very desperate. The hyperinflation crippled Germany, so people will blindly follow any party that promised, better standards of life. Bran, don't bring up like World War II shit, because you're gonna just send me off in a tangent.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
You can't bring up the word Hitler without me going, he's a abhorrent evil.
Well,
See,
However,
okay,
because
but
of the
we can follow
timeline.
this up. So like, how do you guys feel about the idea of like the end justifies the means, right? So doing something
Oh,
evil at the current time to have
oh,
massive benefits later on.
yeah,
that's
see,
good. I'll
see,
let
like,
you two speak.
if coming back to what I said about, like harming even as the murdering someone can be considered evil, like as a definition. But if it meant in a situation where the person deserves it, in like, I don't,
Say
like,
death row.
Karma is
Test.
gonna get someone eventually.
yeah, like it being justified, I guess. Not like straight up murdering some, like you're talking like, it's like soldiers going out and fighting and all that stuff. In our current day right now, actually, like
Mm.
it can sort of be justified that they're doing something good to the world, good for the world by um battling, like terrorists and all that stuff, because
Thing is, though,
they're
it's all a matter of
they're they're
perspective.
they're defeating the evil by doing that. But that's the thing. It's a weird case because it's
It
like,
really is. Because from our point of view, yes, we're
because
defending civil liberties.
yeah, because people,
However, from
because
their point of
they're
view,
just, yeah.
they're trying to, liberate
Evil
themselves.
is subjective.
It's
It
never
really
at
is.
the end of the day, it's not, it's never really
It
good
goes back to
when
Soma. If
when
WoW
human
was a fucking evil,
when
sorry,
with humans that just fight.
Yes,
Yeah, when humans
full
are just
circle.
fighting each
Sober.
other, it's never even a good thing in the end, because humanity shouldn't be fighting each other in the first place.
evil is
Unless
subjective.
Yeah.
evil do be
Good,
subjective.
good and evil is very subjective. A lot of things are like subjective, actually.
Well,
It's
I mean,
based on
it's
your
the point of like
worldview.
it's all a gray area, right? Like too many
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
try to be like, oh, this is good or this is evil, like black and white. And it's like, no, it's most of the time it's a gray area.
Yeah.
Putting pineapple on pizza though, that is evil. There's no gray area.
Yeah.
It's
And
Oh,
bad.
also, anything with
well, I
kids,
guess
evil.
I'm evil then.
Evil.
I
Evil.
fucking
Evil.
knew it,
Oh
Caustic,
no,
this
no,
whole
no!
time.
The pineapple,
Oh
the
my god,
pineapple on pizza
Caustic, I know
thing.
you're British like me, but sheesh, even I
Oh
have
come
standards.
on! It's
I have
not that
standards. I
bad.
just
That's it. I'm
colonized.
taking a
You
shot.
have.
I can't believe Caustic just said
Yeah, I'm
that
drinking
on
too,
the
absolutely.
podcast.
Look,
I can't
look,
believe this.
I can't believe that.
I like
The
Literally, oh my
pineapple.
god.
audacity. The audacity.
I. If it makes you feel better, I don't have it like anymore. Really, I have meat feast
Too late. You've
pizzas.
committed sin. You've been
You're gonna put
branded a
pineapple on
heretic.
it. Why not just put any fruit on it? Why not just
Yeah,
have strawberries on
where's
pizza at that point?
my Discord server?
That's
I'm
not a
demoting.
bad
I'm
idea.
demoting you. You're getting demoted.
What a
Watch
bad
out.
idea. Hold on. Whoa, boys, hang on. I want to hear Caustic's bad idea.
Wait, no, I said that's not a bad idea.
Strawberries. How do I kick the host? How
Can
do I
we
kick the host?
Chi, you're looking for replacements.
Oh,
Because
fuck yeah, bud.
Hey!
excellent. Right, now dispose of him.
Alright, fuck you. Look, as I said,
Yes.
I
Another
mostly
coup d'etat.
I mostly have meat feast pizzas now, but I did used to have pineapple on pizza. I will admit that. I don't.
I love pineapple as pizza. What the fuck? Fuck you.
What?
Oh, Bran, help!
Oh, see?
Bran, help! We need backup. We're in heretic
It's
chat.
2v2
Shit.
right now. It's 2v2 right now.
All right.
Bran, okay, Bran, we're gonna make our own podcast. Thanks,
We are
Cossack
now
Chi.
accepting the terms
What
of
the
the end
fuck?
justifies the
All right,
mean.
buddy.
Cossack Chi, thank you for being our first
Do-
guest
do
on
I-
our podcast for B&B.
Brandon, but it's taking over.
Yeah, this is the B&B podcast.
We've been
Your
over
host,
pro.
Causya
Where we
and
don't
Bran.
tolerate
It's been a
we don't tolerate
revolution.
any pineapples on pizza. We are humans with standards.
That's
Does
true.
our, do
We
our
do be kind of have
opinions,
standards.
does now all our opinions become invalid now because we like pineapple on pizza?
Yes.
Oh. Well, it was a good run. It was a good
You've
run.
been branded a heretic. You may beg for forgiveness, and we may show you mercy in the trial of court.
Trial with pizza court.
Trial of pizza court. Oh. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
you
How long we
guys go on to
got?
the next question. I'm gonna go to use the
Alright.
lavatory.
We've
while
not
you
we've not
have an
we've not
invite.
got too long left before this episode's over. We got about 27 minutes ish. So we
Sweet.
could probably do like a couple more questions.
Cool. Well, I'll see you in 5.
Yeah, scene 5. Let's see what we got.
Break time.
I'm just having a good look at what other questions we can do here. I guess this is sort of like coming back to our like the whole thing with like our minds being in like a different world, like our consciousness being uploaded and stuff. But necessarily our minds being, moved on to another body or another world, but our current bodies being like I guess in this case cybernetically enhanced. Would you ever like would you go through with that basically? Like would you put yourself through surgery to give yourself cybernetics? Like would you go through that? Like would you have your arm cut off to be replaced with a
Yeah.
cybernetic arm?
It's still me.
Yeah. Like I mean it would be I would like it's kind of like in a sense of like how people have plastic surgery. They choose to put themselves through that to make themselves look better. Even in like sometimes it doesn't always
Okay,
turn
let's
out
not. You
good.
said to make themselves look better. There are very few plastic surgeries that I've seen where I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
that
I
was a
mean.
good
Like
choice.
like most of the time it hasn't always really came out like good.
Okay, so
for-
you saying like, would you
But w-
get like cybernetic enhancements if it
yeah,
was in
if you
like a
had the
realistic
choice,
situation where
yeah,
like it might
if you,
completely backfire?
I guess, yeah, like you just, you put your, let's say, we're 100 years in the future. Scientists have like basically now created the option for people just to go and spend their money on having a cybernetic surgery on whatever they choose, whether it have it be a whole entire arm transplant where they have their whole entire arm replaced with some robotic arm, or they have robotic legs. Even
no. We're going eyes first. I want a robot eye. Are you kidding me? Optics upgrades? That'd be huge.
Ooh, that
yeah,
would be
yeah,
so
right?
sick.
yeah, that'd be
Jarvis, where's my Jarvis, bro?
That would basically just
That
be
would be
like
pretty impressive.
you wouldn't even need like for people that have glasses and stuff, they wouldn't even have to do like
Yeah.
laser surgery. They'll have like just full on cybernetic eyes and just have like Google
Thing
in their
is, though,
eyesight.
like cybernetic eyes. I think that is so far off based
Hey,
on how
welcome
eyes
back, by the
work.
way, Blitz. The question
Oh
was
yeah, I had a lovely
basically
piss. Thanks for asking.
was basically like uh related to like how we was talking about like would you choose to have like your conscious uploaded, but instead it's basically you're enhancing your own body. Like you're still alive in the real world, but scientists have basically made cybernetics a reality. And would you choose, like, would you choose to put yourself through that? Like, would you have your arm removed for a new one, legs removed for new legs, like
Yeah,
all
the arm
cybernetic?
removal would be
Like,
an interesting one. I would have
like
to
even
see
like,
how effective it is. Like, kind of,
yeah,
quite frankly, seeing what we are today, now in this day and age, with prosthetic hands and arms, I am already very impressed with what can be achieved. So, like, legs and arms, if I ever needed one, yes. However, replacing a limb for a robotic, not quite yet.
mm, like,
Yeah, I feel like if we wanted to go really like realistic with it, it would be a
Hmm.
lot of like how a lot of people view like plastic surgery today, where it's like, yeah, it's great, obviously, when there's like an accident and somebody gets emergency like plastic surgery,
Yes.
that kind of stuff,
Skin
obviously,
graft
that's
stuff.
great.
Yeah.
But it's like the type of people that would like chop off their own arm to get, a robotic arm, I feel like it would be like the type of people, like the guy that spent like, I don't know, what was it, like $200,000 to look more like Justin Bieber. Like we'd view him like that. We'd be like, what the fuck are you
Yeah.
yeah,
doing? Like that's
Yeah.
insane. Like, no,
Yeah.
you don't chop off your arm to get a
or
robot
like,
one.
or like they
It's like, why
have
would you chop? Yeah.
like they have like enhanced like extensions, like they have like fucking cybernetic fucking horns or just spikes coming out of
Yeah,
their arms or something like
I
that.
completely understand there would be people that do that. It's like the people that get like a lot of the more serious like piercings and like embed stuff under their skin and stuff like that. Like I forget what the technical term is. I know it's body modification, but
Yeah, yeah.
they'll literally just like bury stuff under their skin so it looks like there's like a ring or like spikes and stuff. It would be those type of people that would be the type to like chop off an arm or add horns or that kind of stuff. It would be an extreme minority, I think, that would actually go through with it
Mm,
because the replacements, it's kind of like there's so much like real like I think when you think about it like in a game or something you're just like, oh yeah, you just get a new arm, but it's like no, like realistically your body's going to reject it. It's going to be extremely painful at whatever site it's attached to. Like there's going to be a lot of negatives. Like it's not just like you get a robot arm. Like medically speaking,
yeah.
like there's going to be drawbacks to getting that.
And also, it doesn't just to say, like, point out, like, I just put a video in listeners chat. It doesn't also have to be technological, as in like cybernetic. It can just be physical.
Yeah.
Mm.
See, end of the day,
Impressive
it's
with
like
how our technology has progressed.
what do you consider you being human still until it's like you've done so many things in your body that you don't count
Good
yourself as a human?
question.
Like,
I'd say the
see
brain and
yourself more of a
spinal cord.
robot than human at that point?
I don't know. I still think.
A robot with a brain, your own brain.
Okay, I still think you'd have to have a spinal cord because the spinal cord handles a lot, surprisingly, of the bodily functions.
Oh yeah, that we see that in like movies and games where a lot of like androids or
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
cyborgs will always have their brain and spine intact no matter what it is. Like they always have
Would
that.
that still be human? That's a hard one. Like, would you argue a certain percent of the body must be flesh still?
I don't know, actually. Like
Yeah.
would you still have your heart still, or would it be one of those artificial ones? Like
True. I mean, people do have artificial hearts, though, in this day
yeah,
and age.
Dude, that's so weird. Like people with like artificial hearts, they don't have a heartbeat
yeah,
because
it
it's
just
just a continuous pump.
oh
Yeah, so they don't have a heart. So like I mean, it's working like as it should, but like there's no heartbeat because it's like a
How
pump.
would
It's
you
not like
know? how would you know if they die? Like you can't feel their pulse.
There's a lot of other signs of death than just no heartbeat, like no breathing, for example,
I guess. I mean,
Funny thing
or
is, like,
them not
I wonder if
moving.
that's more efficient
well,
because
more. Well, actually, wait. Let me. Like, how
It
would
is.
how would you do CPR on them? Like, do you just
you
do
wouldn't.
this? Would it work the same way? Like, would you still blow air into their mouth or
No,
pump
No,
their
it doesn't
heart?
work.
That just
and you
don't
are
work.
aware, by the way. Last time I was informed, you're actually not supposed to do mouth to mouth in CPR now.
Really?
Yeah. Well, so yeah, when you do
It's
CPR,
CPR
yeah,
the
is
entire thing is like getting enough movement to like actually push on their heart. Um, they used to do it where you would breathe into their mouth, basically just to inflate their lungs to add more stuff in their chest. But they found out that that wasn't really effective because obviously the air just gets pushed out. So it's just like a risk of like contamination. Like obviously
yeah.
you know,
And if
kissing
anything,
somebody.
you want to prioritize that bloody heart moving.
Hmm.
Yeah, what's really crazy is like if you're lucky, you don't have to break their ribs, but if you're actually doing CPR, if you
Yeah, you
can't
need
like
to
get
crack
enough
the rib.
push down, like the first thing you have to do is crack their ribs.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
had
I was
that. Like, yeah,
CPR certified. It's fucking weird to think about of like, hey, I'm gonna help this dude who can't breathe. All right, step 1, crack the ribs.
thing is, I would be scared to do that in America though, based on
Mm.
how your healthcare and stuff
It's one
works.
of those things where it's like as long as you're actually like certified, there's a lot of laws that like protect you.
Good. So it's basically certified. Like, yeah, because
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
only if you're certified though. If you're just some like rando that does it, I don't know
I've
how
heard
that works.
I've heard
But
stories of like you know the American healthcare system and its shady business practices.
dude,
Like
that's I mean, a
an
part of like you
ambulance
getting
being called
trained,
out.
like the first thing you do is obviously ask somebody to call 911. Step
Yeah.
2 is to ask somebody that is like with that person if you have their permission to do it.
yeah, because isn't it like if you do that shit, there's a chance of breaking the ribs anyways. I I vaguely remember like if you do CPR or some sort of like
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
start doing normal
may need to.
CPR, and if it's not doing enough, then you break the ribs so you can push down more.
yeah,
God.
and
Is at
at
that
that
point,
Yeah,
point,
it's terrifying.
What if
yeah,
you
think
break the
about it.
rib and it just pierces the heart? Like you're fucked.
You're not gonna,
The
you
rib,
can't hit them
nah,
that hard.
nah.
Basically,
Oh.
you're
The
hitting
way the
enough to
rib
crack it so you can push down a little bit more. It's not like you're like cracking their rib off and then their like rib cage is just
it's fractured.
loose.
Would you say fracturing? Wouldn't you? Like it, the way it.
Uh, yeah, I mean, well, you gotta remember, there's like a lot of like organs and meat and stuff. Like, it's not like you just crack their bones and their bones are just like floating around. But the
Oh
whole
no,
point
yeah,
is
of
that you
course.
break it
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah,
like
yeah.
you have a more like you can push
Yes.
down more and the bone isn't holding you back. Yeah, it's really weird and
The thing
really
is, like,
uncomfortable to think about.
it's uncomfortable to think about, but it's a necessity because if nothing's working at that point,
Well, yeah,
you
I mean it's either like I
you,
crack your
you
ribs
either
or you
have
die.
to. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
If
it's
they
kind
have
of like
if they have to
it
go to
works.
take, oh, I've heard stories of like ambulances like taking people to private hospitals, just and then people get like recovering from a near-death experience or nearly died, and then getting hit with a bill and a fucking half.
Well, an ambulance ride is 7,000.
I know, fucking the ambulance alone, mate. The amount of ambulances I see on a regular where I live is fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Glad I'm not
Okay.
American.
I'm
No
glad
offense,
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
American
wouldn't
as
expect
well.
somebody that doesn't have freedom to understand. Us
Imagine not
Americans
having
and our
free
freedom.
healthcare though. Come on.
you may have freedom, but we have free healthcare.
Oh,
Yeah, you guys lost the Revolutionary War and
I
Canada's our
knew
hat.
you was gonna say
I
that.
legally have to. I legally have to. I mean, at this point, it's
Right.
just how it do
For
be.
those who be listening to this on YouTube, um, Brand's catchphrase to
My
fucking
catchphrase.
catchphrase. So I'm drunk. His like his known catchphrase to me or any other British person is just that we lost the Revolutionary War.
Listen, it's a really
Every
easy comeback.
Hey,
time.
and my
It
remark
works.
is, don't worry, America, you're a great entertainment for us Brits. We just love watching you guys and your, I say in quotes, democracy.
Listen,
Damn it.
you enjoy watching us with some beans on toast, all right? You know, you just
Hey,
eat
that
Yeah,
your
you got
beans
a
on
problem with
toast.
that,
is nice.
No, actually, I think that sounds really good. I haven't actually tried it, but it sounds
It's
like it'd be
so
really good.
nice.
Yeah.
Especially when
It's
you
good
put
because it's
some,
cheap and easy. That's why.
yeah. Especially when you put
Oh,
some
yeah.
like,
Not
you can,
delicacy.
bro, if you like a piece of toast, put some beans, you top it off with a fried egg as well. Damn.
Damn, you
Or
getting
you have
fancy
sausage
over
too.
there.
Wait, what, Blitz?
You have a sausage bits in it.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, and then toast or just a bit of
But-
pepper.
Ooh. But the thing is, Brand, if you
We
come over
need a
to the
food
UK, mate,
topic.
I'll
We
make
need to
you
do an
a
episode of
souffle.
food.
A souffle.
Yeah, I can, because I work in a
Getting
restaurant.
fancy.
Yeah,
Chi,
mate,
we
I'll
Chi,
show
we
it
need
to
to
Oh,
you.
do
yeah.
that. We need to do that for an episode, Chi. We need to do food as a topic.
Oh,
no.
food.
No.
Dude,
no.
food stands? Who wants to go fucking traveling with me around the world going food stands, bro? That shit fucking bang. Sorry,
Right,
off
That'll
topic
be-
again.
how do you
cool
even
topic to
afford
do,
that kind of trip? What? Money's expensive.
Money is very expensive.
Dude, money be expensive.
Shh, don't tell
Yeah.
anyone. Illegal narcotics being sold. That's how you make that money.
Oh my gosh.
Drug trafficking.
You're gonna sell fun dip illegally?
Not
I would love
illegal,
to go to
alright. It's called out of country
not government support.
secondhand financial advising and marketing.
Are you my lawyer again?
Listen, Your Honor, here's the thing. My client, kind of PogChamp. It'd be kind of
Oh.
cringe if you sent him to jail, alright?
I thought you were going to go down the route of he's mentally retarded. He doesn't know what he's
No.
doing.
No. No.
The
We're on the
pog-
kind
I
of
like the PogChamp. The PogChamp defense works once, it can work again, yeah?
Oh man.
Yeah, so let's
Okay,
go back to philosophy then, yeah?
Yeah, I got another question. Okay. If all your memories were erased, what kind of person would you be? So you have no memories about
That is very
anything, but you
Mm,
still
Blank,
have.
you'll be a
You'd
blank
be a
slate.
baby.
But
Yeah,
but,
you
Yeah,
just be
you
a
just
blank
be a
slate.
baby.
Because
all right,
because your
memories that
personality is based on all your experiences in
basically.
life. That
Yeah.
defines who you are.
Oh, okay. Well, let's say like,
Like you can still like walk around and you know you need to
Okay,
eat and like you can
you
speak
have
and stuff.
you have like full blown like amnesia. Yeah, and you can't remember like who you are,
That hits
like what
close to
you've
home.
done,
All
what
right.
you've done in the past or
Here-
anything, but you still
here's the
know
thing.
how to live as a person, and you kind of know like
Hey,
how
here's the
you
thing.
are, I guess.
I really like who was it? It was a comedian, Dimitri Martin, I think. Wait, was it? No, John Mulaney. John Mulaney, who was like, if I had amnesia, you would never know it. Because you know when like somebody's talking to you and they clearly know who you are and you don't remember who the hell they are, you kind of just go like, "Oh,
Yeah.
hey man, how's it going?"
Everything
Nobody would even
fine.
know I had amnesia. And it would just be me repiecing my life together, figuring out based on like who talks to me and being like, "Oh yeah, what's that? We've known each other for 5 years. Oh, that's crazy.
Oh,
It's been so long."
If I had amnesia and I rediscovered who I was, I think that would just be depressing.
oh,
Oof.
oh, yeah. I guess that'd be like if you've got like, oh no, if you had kind of like a rough life and you find out everything you've done, like what that happened to you in the past, then yeah, that would be a bit like. That's
But
the
thing
thing.
is,
Oh,
yeah, but
that's
the
the
thing is,
thing.
like,
You
that
could.
defines
What if?
who you are. Like,
What if? But
as
what
much
if
suffering as
like?
there is, I would
But what?
live through it again.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, would some people like who have amnesia end up becoming a better person, like not knowing what
Uh,
they've done in the past? That's the thing. Like, what if
Not
someone's
necessarily.
like would someone be like
So
like
based on how the brain works and all that, they may not remember, but they still may have the conditioning they had when growing
like
up.
they will still do.
Brain raised.
Oh,
They
I
may
see,
have
yeah.
genetic traits that lean heavily, that may lean them towards being more narcissistic, for example, and more, that kind of
Yeah.
path.
Hmm. Yeah, it's weird to think about because it's like
Yeah, it really is, and
'cause
it's not a nice experience living
yeah.
through amnesia. I can vouch because of my father. It
Oh, did he have amnesia?
Yeah, he had almost a fatal bike crash and had
Oh,
amnesia, so he had
Jesus.
to relive finding out about people being dead.
Oh my.
You
Oh
have a
yeah.
real, you
Yeah.
have a real shock, to say the
Yeah,
least.
that now that I think of it, that would be horrible. Like you're living through your memories
Yeah,
twice,
you
basically.
have to relive through the trauma of finding out a close relative has
Jesus.
deceased. It's
Yeah.
No, that shit's.
God, I can't even imagine in my case, with
trust me, yeah, it's not. It's
oof.
yeah.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Defines who you are, though.
Mm,
It really does.
mm.
I feel like that's another topic for another time.
What, amnesia?
No,
Finding out
experience.
people that died.
People that have died, yes, near-death experiences. Let's list them off.
Then we just have a list of everyone who died and we just read it off. Yo, did you know Greg Johnson died? You'd be like, I don't know Greg Johnson. It's like, all right, let's move on to the next one.
We've got about like 7 minutes. We got 7 minutes. We can do like a speed run round. Speed round.
Speed round.
False.
Speed round.
True.
So basically, yeah. So just we're
B.
I'm gonna ask some random questions from this list of philosophy questions, and we're gonna do just some quick
I'd pick a
answers.
Lamborghini over Ferrari any day.
Nah, mate.
How
mate.
conscious
so
do you
good at
think?
this.
All right, how conscious
want
do
a
you think
spicy
animals
jet.
are?
Animals are an existence that doesn't have a sense of self in most cases. So they don't understand that they exist.
No, I think they understand themselves, but they have no greater cognitive.
So a sense of self means that you understand that you are an existence and you understand that like
I
you are an
believe there is
individual.
some.
It's like how like when animals look in a mirror and they like start barking or it's because they think it's another animal because they don't understand that they're seeing themselves because they don't register themselves as an
I
existence.
believe.
There are some animals that do have a sense
Yeah.
of self. It's not just humans that have it, but most animals do not contain a sense of self.
Yeah, I agree with Bran.
Damn.
Next question. G, what's your stance?
Wait, what?
I can speed run.
Wait,
Next
I was
question.
zoned out.
You didn't hear. Next question.
God damn it.
I'm put in the spot.
Can society exist without laws?
No.
No.
Anarchy does not.
Everything would just go to shit if there was no laws.
But
No,
just
no,
think,
no,
if every single night was like the purge, every
No,
day the
thing is-
purge,
No,
fun.
because society will build from the purge. Like basically, it'll be anarchy. I mean, people will band
Yeah,
together
we'll
to form a society to protect against the anarchy, and then boom.
we'll be
nations
Well,
living
I
in,
suppose
we'll
it
be
just
living
means
in a
if-
constant war.
I think it just gets it down to like how you define laws, right? So if you define anything that's like a rule of a society as a law, then no, of
Anything
course
the
not.
queen
But if you
or
just
king has signed on.
yeah, stupid. But no, I think it's like a law would be anything that can be enforced and has specific punishments to that level. Because obviously there's going to be like rules, just societally, right? Like you helping out your fellow neighbor, if there's a threat, maybe you guys band together, those are rules, but I wouldn't classify that as like a law per se. So there can be rules, but not that aren't necessarily laws.
All right. Another quick question. How replaceable are you?
Very
Instantaneous.
Easily.
yeah, like
I'm already
Hey,
replaced. I'm already getting walked out. I'm sorry. I'll see you guys later.
Hey, I didn't even get into the job. I was replaced before I even got into it. Cosmic Chi.
I mean, I don't. Ugh, God, I'm just existing. I don't even think I can get like replaced by anything because I'm just
No,
existing.
Right.
trust me, you can be.
What? Who's gonna
How-
replace me? I'm just living like in my place. Just
Exactly. Many people live like that without saying more.
Ooh. All right, I got the next idea. All right.
Sorry.
All right. How do you guys feel about the idea of like promotion until incompetence, right? So basically whenever you get a promotion at a job, right? You're getting the promotion because you're the best.
Yay!
Eventually
Oh.
you stop getting promoted because you're
No.
not the best anymore, or like you're not good anymore. So basically there's this theory that people get promoted too far, like one step too far. And so then they're at a job where they're not really that good at, which means they can't get promoted anymore. And if they were actually one step back, they would be really good at that job. But they
I
got
see what you're
promoted
saying.
because they're really good at that
over.
job.
They get basically they overextend.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so and it's the idea of like you're really good at your job. So you get
Right.
promoted, obviously, you get a raise, higher level of authority, all that kind of business. But then eventually you hit a promotion where you're just not that good at that job. And if you had just stayed at the position you were at before, you'd be really good at that job.
This is
Like this
basically
is
just
like
a metaphor. Like you
Oh.
bit off more than you
no,
can chew.
it's not even a
Yeah.
metaphor. It's an actual thing that's getting studied. There's a lot of research that's going
Is
into
there?
this.
I
Yep,
Ooh.
knew.
because this is a very
Fascinating.
common issue. And this is
Yeah. I
why
knew.
like everybody thinks
Oh.
their boss is incompetent is literally this.
Yeah. I knew a friend actually who worked in works in like a restaurant. Like he's a chef, and
Mhm.
Ooh.
he was just minding his own business, like just being an employee for that restaurant. Like he was doing good and all that
Oh no.
stuff. And
now
then he became his own boss. He became the boss of the restaurant. Like
Yep.
he become the head chef. Is that what you're telling me?
yeah, basically yeah. Like he
Oh
he
no.
had to
What
he
was
had to
this?
literally take over. Like he had to take it over everything. I think he's still
Do you
doing
know?
all right,
Do you
but
know
it
what his
was like
previous role was?
I can't remember. It was a while
Sous
ago, but
chef. If you don't know, don't worry. But yeah,
It mu
going from
he was
like just
definitely just one of the staff, like just
Mhm.
a just a typical employee working at a
please don't
restaurant, and
tell
just
me he was a line cook and went straight to head chef. Because holy shit, that's a jump and a half.
like I think he was just really good at his job that he just suddenly became the
Yeah.
head chef, and then was just
Well,
put in a much
Oh yeah, trust me.
yeah,
worse
Like
and that's
position.
yeah,
yeah, that's how this works a
that's
lot.
an extreme jump. Like I've worked in the kitchen, so
No. I think this is like a
I
less.
know what that's
This might
like.
be like a less
Christ.
formal kitchen, more of just like a.
Oh, is this not a restaurant? This is just
No,
a
this is probably not like a formally staffed restaurant where they have like a head chef, sous chef,
Oh,
all that kind of
see,
stuff.
see.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
here going
yeah,
like
yeah.
in my fucking experience of catering and all that, working as like a pastry chef.
No. This is probably a less
I'm like,
formal
dude, he went for
situation.
fucking what? He went for a line cook to fucking head
No.
chef. What the fuck?
But yeah, that's a real issue of basically
Yeah, no,
people
yeah,
get promoted because they're good at their job, and then they're
Yeah.
not good at the new job that they get promoted to.
yeah, because the skills at the next level is
Yeah, it's
pretty
like
different.
they have to, because it's like, they're really good at what they do at the job, like with their work. But
Mhm.
then once they get promoted into something higher than that, they have to
Mhm.
basically go through the whole process all over again of learning these
Especially if
new
there's no one
things that
to
their
guide
job.
them.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have to go through it all themselves,
The
like
amount of
with their new,
responsibility
Yep.
you must have had
their
would
new
be
stuff.
catastrophic.
Yeah. Well, that's like why so often like people are like, God, my boss is a absolute idiot. Like, how did this guy get this job? And it's like, well, he was probably really good at your job, got promoted, and he's bad at that job. Like that was not the correct fit for him. Like he was
It's
where he should be, but because of,
Yeah.
corporate America, jobs, all that, everybody's like, well, I've been working here for like 3 years now. Like I should get a promotion,
mm, yeah.
Not for
crazy.
It's why
everyone.
this is why sometimes you just it's best to just stick with what you got and not try to pursue trying to become the next leader of whatever you're working at or CEO, because you're just gonna be like it might seem fun, like for some people, depending what type of company you're working for, but no, it's a huge responsibility that you have to put yourself through and learn, and it can,
All right,
yeah,
Buzzer,
you'll
Buzzer,
feel your
he's trying to
boss's
talk us
pain.
out of making our
You'll
own podcast and taking over their podcast. Don't listen to him. This is just
See, don't worry. I won't listen to him
subliminal
because I kind
message.
of got bored of Caustic rambling, and I was typing in Discord.
What the
No
fuck?
offense, Caustic.
Damn.
Damn, that's savage, bro.
Well, on that note, we
Oh no, we can't handle that.
no, yeah,
Oh,
no,
shit.
yeah, it's over. We're hit the 2 hour mark. We're done.
Oh crap.
But
Oh shit. I didn't. Oh,
oh,
wait, I didn't even. Oh, can we swear on this podcast? I didn't even establish
Yeah.
that.
Yes, fuck.
yes,
We've been
it's-
Oh,
swearing.
thank-
Holy,
we're
Thank fucking God. I mean, yeah, I just
we're
was.
You
drinking.
freaking freaks.
dude, I've
Bran,
talked
Bran,
about
we're making our own
railing fucking
podcast.
caustic. I mean, what?
We're
What?
railing Caustic? Sweet.
Oh
Yo,
my god!
rating
No! No! No!
Caustic.
No! 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 No!
Hey,
No!
Yo,
No!
don't
everybody, we're
worry,
rating
gonna have
Wait!
Caustic.
We'll
Right.
have a good time. Trust me, Matt.
God, shush.
Rawr.
Okay, we need to end the episode. All right. So anyway, it's been a good 2 hours. We've asked lots of very interesting questions about philosophy and all that stuff. Would you agree, boys?
Oh yeah. Philosophy.
Very
Very philosophical.
very-
Very thought-provoking.
and like every episode, there are some times where we do go off the rails a little bit, but it's okay. It's how it works.
Not a
It's-
podcast without it.
Yeah,
especially our
exactly.
group,
It's
too.
all right.
Exactly. Tune
I
in
hope-
next week for B&B's podcast, first ever episode.
Stop trying to. Let's say, but yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. It's been really fun. We want as every episode, we like to have some what's the word, engagement from
Fun.
you guys. Engagement from
Confrontation.
the people that will be
Ooh,
listening to this
fighting.
episode
gonna
on
fight.
YouTube. What's your favorite philosophical question? Throw it in the comments, and we might see, and we might just answer it.
Caustic, you're almost forgetting the most important, things to say.
Yeah, you
Don't
didn't
forget
even
to
say the
like
YouTube
and
thing. Say
subscribe.
the YouTube thing. Say the
The
YouTube.
YouTube
Say
Share
the
this on your
YouTube
favorite
thing.
social-
Oh,
Like,
make sure,
subscribe.
make sure you like and subscribe, and be
comment.
sure to join the Discord too. It's linked in the description.
No, no,
be-
no, no. You messed that
You'll
up.
get to see.
Smash that
damn it,
fucking
Cos-
bell notification.
Thank you.
Smash that.
Yes.
There you
Keith.
go. Hit that shit. Pound it
You
like
join
it's
the
your
Discord too.
fucking.
You get to
What?
meet the wonderful Bran Flakes 2 and Breaky Blitz.
Ooh.
and
Don't
us.
forget to shoot.
And
Uh,
us.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
us.
And,
Yeah.
and the two people guesting on our podcast.
Alright, you stop trying to stop. No, this isn't your podcast.
That's what you think of my boy.
It's not. Jesus Christ.
All right,
But
let me
yeah.
hit you with that outro. All right, gamers, thank you for joining us on this week's Goontionary podcast. It was lovely to have all of you here. We would like to thank our guest, Bramflakes2 and Buzzer, for joining us this evening. What a fantastic show and philosophical debate. Caustic, would you like to send us off with some final words?
Yep. Thanks everyone. We'll see you next week for whatever the topic may be. Like I said, be
These
sure
nuts.
to be sure to
Got him.
and I said and if you want to listen to us live and even say some stuff in the listeners chat, then be sure to join the Discord. We're all just chilling in the stage like channel. So,
I have a
Come through.
disability.
is it DN?
Thank you,
No,
Ninja, for your
disability
valued
to
comment.
Get
of
these
they
nuts
all
in your
bitches.
face. Oh,
Shout out to
Wait, what?
NinjaTiger 777.
Yeah.
dude, can we get one of our listeners, our loyal listener? Yo, wait.
What are you doing?
Ninja, raise your hand so I can
Oh
bring
my
Yes,
you in.
God.
Ninja, yes.
Yeah,
Get him
let's
in there.
go.
Yes.
God.
It's the
something
ending-
to the
it's the
fucking
ending that
podcast.
never
Let's
ends.
go.
Dude, I just sit here high and I just tuned out like halfway through
Oh
the
look,
fucking
it's
thing.
one of our old guests from episode 2. It's Ninja
I
Tiger.
have just been sitting in here, half fucking baked out of my mind, just like, whoa. Stop saying these questions.
Did you enjoy
I
the show?
can't handle this shit now.
That's right, Health Nuts. Remember, he's not deep fried like other chips. He's baked. Healthier option.
Right.
I mean, minus check
Oh
home.
my God.
Getting a healthy choice.
Oh
Alright,
my
on that,
God.
with that though, have a wonderful
Okay.
night, everyone. Take it
bye-bye.
easy
Yeah.
and bye
Have a good
bye.
night.
Bye.
See you
Bye
later. Go
bye.
save the queen.